Hi everybody, hi critters and Critical Role enthusiasts and artist fans and everything. As you can tell, I am RC3 Art. I wanted to make a quick video because um, I just, unfortunately Twitter can't really express all the words and everything, and I just wanted to express my gratitude to everybody, all the critters out there, all the Critical Role fans, and all the people who have shown a lot of love and a lot of support lately. Because I'm truly, honestly in awe of how explosive it has gotten. For all of you who might not know, or those who follow me, I've recently become known as the guy who did this. Did this piece. I put it up on Twitter. I actually put the sketch up on Twitter, and it kind of semi-exploded, and then I ended up doing the inks on it and putting it out, and it just the the sheer amount of support and friendliness I got on Twitter for putting this up and putting a few kind words to Marisha Ray and just it exploded. I was not expecting that. I can't say it viral or anything like that, but it for me it was. From a backwater kind of guy like myself, it was just so heartwarming, so amazing. This community, I couldn't really believe it because I just now started getting into this community. I love playing D&D, and I've played D&D for several years on and off. I've been in several different communities, done a lot of different things, and I was just warmly surprised by so much. Just so many things in common, so many things. Just my Critical Role journey just in the past couple weeks has been insane. Almost like finding another family away from my own fairly large family. It's been really, really great. Not only did I get great support for excuse me, and great support for putting up the piece of Caliph here, but I got support from a lot of different people telling me how great it was, how much they loved it. Um, Even people looking at purchasing prints of it, which I thought was insane. Um, and it's so hard to say thank you enough. I'm sure that it's just that Critical Role has done such a good job at such a big community, great community. I have a hard time just fathoming how big and awesome it has been. And I just started, a few weeks ago, and really my journey just started by, I've seen a few of the celebrity D&Ds and things like that. I've seen a few things here or there. I followed a few things from Will Wheaton and Geek and Sundry from here and there. I've, you know, been in the geek culture for a very, very long time, and I'd heard of Critical Role. I just hadn't gotten around to watching a full episode. And I just watched some celebrity D&D a little bit, and I noticed something pop up for Between the Sheets. Um, all of you critters out there probably know about what I'm talking about. Between the Sheets kind of delves into several of the Critical Role cast and their personal going through life and what they've had to go through, all the things they've had to overcome, all the everything they've had to do, personal issues and even real struggles. Just caught just caught me by surprise. It just brought so much humanity to a group of people that, when people hit that celebrity fame level, they just kind of go way up there, and they kind of get really, really high up. Um, and they've definitely kept themselves very, very level about what they are. And then I found so many similarities. Between some of the castmates, it just makes me. I'm like, wow, I probably could have run into these people at any point in time. Particularly Marisha Ray and Matt Mercer in different fields. Marisha Ray, she grew up. I live in Kentucky. I live in at the I grew up in Bullitt County, Kentucky. Went to North Bullitt High School. She went to more than likely one of the Bullitt County schools, since she grew up in Mount Washington, Kentucky, which is part of Bullitt County. So I literally lived in the same county. We probably went to some of the same places. And I've been to Actors Theater in a lot of places that she's been. I could have even seen her for all I know. It's hard to say. We're fairly close in age. I'm a little bit older, so there's quite the possibility that I might not have. But a lot of different really big similarities. My parents literally live in downtown Mount Washington. I have several family members that live there. I go to Mount Washington all the time. So it's crazy to think that someone like her would have been in this area. It's awesome to see, because you hear there's a few people from Kentucky that have gotten to that status of celebrity and where people are really following them and stuff. It's not a huge thing. It doesn't seem to happen a lot from people from Kentucky, especially those from the Louisville and the Bullitt County area. That's really that's a really big accomplishment. So you have that, and then Matt Mercer, he played Jim Stone, which Jim Stone was my jam for a long time. Me and my first introduction to MMOs and role playing and everything like that was introduced by Jim Stone, and the fact that it was so role play enforced that if you spoke out a character, you could get what they called thumped, and a role play character would just beat you up, take you out of town, and kill you, because we role play around here. We don't want to hear about Star Wars. We want to hear what your character's like, and it got me into role play. And it's not back in the day where MMOs had separate servers. You were all on the same server, going through the same places, so it's very easy. I could have run into Matt Mercer several times. We could have even conversed, for all I know. A few times he might have even helped me out, for all I know. So and then other small things that have popped up, styles and likes and art styles and things, and favorite football teams. I love Dallas Cowboys. If you guys know who I'm talking about there. I was born in Houston, Texas, but lived here. My whole family lived here all my life. My dad went down there for a small amount of time. And I was born down there, and they came straight back to Kentucky. So really, I'm Kentuckian. It's just born in Texas. So but yeah, it's just, and then it's just so humbling to see, like, haven't gotten any negative feedback about my art. No one has criticized me. I haven't gotten any evil messages or anything being critical. And, coming from obviously a person who enjoys comic books a lot. Some of my older pieces of art, if you look at some of my older Twitter feeds, I sent stuff out. I put stuff up on Twitter a while back ago, and the reaction, and I've tried to talk to some artists and things like that in the comic book community, and it's such a harsh community at times. They're just really particular, very critical. This is out of proportion here, that's out of proportion here, if you want to make it into biz. And I kind of not really gave up on it, but just kind of looked to the side where it's like, what, I don't want to have to deal with people being so critical of my work, because I'm still learning. If I can go back, let me see, I can probably pull up something from one of my oldest Twitter feeds 4 years ago. This is an example of something I did 4 years ago, just to show the difference in how my style has progressed and changed and things, and it's been a great ride, but it's just been, for someone who isn't extremely motivated, it's been incredibly motivating to be in this community. And I don't know how to say thank you enough to everybody. And let's see, I want to go ahead and throw up something else I did. So I wanted to show you the differences, and just show you how much explosion that I was not expecting. I did this a few years back. I thought it was a really great piece. Might look like a familiar character, really similar to our favorite little goblin Knot, which is a goblin female I was doing for a friend of mine for a character mock-up. But, if I look at Twitter wise, and, I know that you probably shouldn't pull, your life based on stats, and I don't. It's just to show the difference. I put this in, and you can see the impressions. 190 people actually saw this piece of art I put out. I even tagged some of the people, artists, and things that I was inspired by looking into doing this, and 190 impressions, and getting started out, that wasn't bad. I was actually taken back then. 190 people were, nice enough to even take a look, and a few people nice enough to say thanks and look into it, and that blew me away then. And then, you know, one day while I was watching Between the Sheets with the Marisha Ray, I just felt inspired to take my art to the next level and try and draw something. I drew a sketch. It went pretty well, so I decided to go ahead and do the inks. It came out really well. I liked it a lot, so I decided to go ahead and post it. And as you guys have seen, the inks came out really, really well. And then what blew me away is that I posted and I just kept on getting like after like after like. And, I tagged Marisha Ray and Matt Mercer and Critical Role Art and stuff. Not expecting anything, just expecting maybe a couple people noticing it and, moving on, doing what some artists, normally do. But I'm rambling on. I apologize. I'm just in such awe, and this is just a big appreciation video of how great this is, and I'm just so glad to be in this community and have so much support. But yeah, the stats based on this one, I was just crazy. I was blown away, even when just watching this thing pop up, gaining 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, 400. It was just flying. I could not believe it. I just couldn't believe how fast it was going, and getting likes from the cast members and fans, and getting this looks great, and yeah, like I said, I did put a really heartfelt, and it came from the heart. When I made this sketch, I was making the sketch before I actually got to finish, because I started watching Between the Sheets for a little while, and with Matt Mercer, and I started on this art because I like druids, and I played a druid for a little while, and I was like, oh well, this character's a druid, I'm going to start drawing that. It wasn't until I was pretty much done, pretty close to being done with the original piece, that I started watching Between the Sheets with Marisha Ray, and it just blew my mind how just how close to she's a fellow Kentuckian. It just kind of blew my mind on that one, and the fact that I was so drawn to draw it, and it just obviously it worked out really well. I've met some great people because of it. There's some great people out there. I can't say thank you enough. It's been a crazy ride. I did go ahead and send out the colored version, which I did that by hand. I did watercolors on that one, and I've had some pretty good. Once again, the community has just been extremely, extremely kind and generous and nice and supportive. I haven't had anybody message me and say, hey, her right arm's a little too long, what's wrong with you? Or, hey, that foot looks a little off, or, hair doesn't do that. I haven't had any critiques in that way, and sometimes it's nice, but sometimes it's just great to see support from the community for doing something like that. And I just can't really say thank you enough. And in all honesty, to show my thanks to everybody, I said that I would reveal something, and you guys will probably see this on Twitter before you actually see it on this video, but I will go ahead and post this. I promised that I would post my newest work of art, and I will go ahead and show it to you guys before I sign off, because I could ramble on for forever on how appreciative I am of this community and the people. And I can't wait to continue watching the episodes, catching up, and seeing what everyone has been so great and so kind about. Just thrown out there, and I just can't wait to see what the characters have done. Watching for a guy who enjoys role play a lot and doesn't whose group isn't really a role play group, they're more of a board game group. I guess some people might know what that is as a GM. I really like role players. It's really refreshing to see a group of voice actors do D&D, because they actually get into it and get serious and involved and voice act, but still have fun. And I, compared to a game where I just feel like it's all about stats and min-maxing and things like that. And I love my friends and my group, and I'm trying to slowly convert them to my ways, but it's just great to see this. But anyway, sorry, without further ado, I will display my display my newest work of art, our favorite little blue tiefling Jester. Let's see here. There we go. Let me see if I can blow up a little bit more. So this is So this is my newest one. I'll be posting it up on Twitter for you guys to check out. Feel free, to continue to show the great support. I spent quite a bit of time on this. I really, really wanted to focus on, her beauty, and how she's portrayed as being kind of cutesy, but also, young and beautiful, and I wanted to give her some more, like, kind of a really pretty artistic style to her horns. That I think that would be something that she would be like in my head. So anyway, before I continue to ramble on, I'll go ahead and sign off. But I appreciate it, guys. Once again, I can't say thank you enough to the Critical Role team, for all their great content, the community that they've built, the community themselves, all the critters out there. I can't say thank you enough, because it's been very inspiring, very helpful, and I just can't say thank you enough. So I'll stop saying thank you 1,000 times and go ahead and sign out. Feel free to say hi to me if you want to. I have plans to show more stuff down the road. We'll see if I can get out of my shell and do a little more stuff. But in the end, thanks a lot, guys. Love y'all. Thanks so much, and have a great one.